It is Wednesday the 26th of March and this is Bartender's Breakfast. Hey guys, David here again for you with Bartender's Breakfast from Bartender HQ. Purely from Bartender HQ now because jobs are all done for the moment. So we're now currently 8% salary furloughed thing that the government's doing here in the UK, which is, to be honest, pretty much the best thing that could have possibly happened in terms of the drinks industry. A huge number of bartenders' jobs have probably been saved by the fact that the government's done this, so that's a really good thing. Really pleased that that's what's going on. It's an unprecedented situation. It's not something that anyone expected, but now that we have got past this is what's going on with the bar industry, we can now move on to here's my children. Sorry about that. Sorry. So as the government has now shut everything down, the bars are closed, there's no more news to be done with this stuff. The only news is going to be kind of horrible numbers of people that are suffering and not doing well. So we're going to move on from the news stuff. We're going to move into what to do while you are quarantined, while you are shut down. I'm assuming this is going to be the situation for people around the world as well. If it's not, please let me know. What is the situation in your country? Let me know in the comments below, because I want to know what is going on with bartenders around the world. There's a massive amount of relief effort stuff going on. We have got some people coming onto the show to have a chat with us about what's going on, what's happening, and stuff like that over the next few days. Fingers crossed, as long as they get back to me. But they are super busy people at the moment. But more important to us is how do we keep our guests engaged through the bar. So Sam at the Vanguard yesterday was doing some live streams about mead and about kind of the history of mead and different styles of mead and stuff. It went on for about 45 minutes. Really interesting. Had quite a few questions and comments coming through. So that is something that you can do. You can still engage with your customers. You can still engage with your guests regardless of whether you're physically there in the bar. The other thing you can be doing is putting some drinks together on Instagram and Facebook, and do Facebook Lives if you want. Talk to your guests. One of the things that I've put out on my Instagram, and this was inspired by someone else's Instagram, and I definitely commented and said, yes, this is awesome, thanks very much, was basically take a quick picture of your liquor cabinet or what you've got to hand at home, and I will create you recipes. So I've asked people to put that in their stories on Instagram and tag me at Bartender HQ Pics. So that is something that I'm asking people to do. If they take a picture, tag me in it on their Instagram story, then I can get back to them on our story, tag them with some suggestions for what they can make cocktail wise. So I've also, just before we kind of finished work for what's going on at the moment, I was doing some drinks with Old J Spiced and Old J Silver, which is one of the brands that I was looking after. And one of the ones that kind of really quite pleased me with the way that it came out was we did an espresso martini at home, just using one bottle, using instant coffee and sugar the way that you would normally. We did the whole thing without using any bar equipment as well. The only thing we used, I think, was some ice trays to make some ice, but obviously you can make ice however you want, and I want to share that video here for you now. It's about 4 minutes. Hey guys, in this video we are going to teach you how to make a super easy rum espresso martini. Welcome to the lock-in with me, David Eden-Sangwell from LWC Drinks, and in this video we are going to show you how to make the easiest espresso martini you have ever seen, even if you don't happen to have an espresso maker in your house. Now, the espresso martini is a super popular drink. I think it's probably number 2 in the country after the porn star at the moment. I'm going to use instant coffee for this. If you have an espresso maker at home, feel free to use that. Make yourself a shot of espresso, but we can make a pretty good improvisation of it with this. So you're going to use 1 spoon of instant coffee. You're going to add about 30 mils, about an ounce of water, about an espresso shot of water. What we're essentially doing here is simulating a shot of espresso. Give that a little stir. You want to dissolve all those granules in. Now for sweetness, if you have your coffee sweeter, you can add the sugar that you would normally have in a coffee at this point. I've got some simple syrup that we made up in a previous video, so I'm going to add around about 20 mils of that. And happily, our Old J lid happens to be around about 20 mils. Obviously we need to shake this. If you don't have a professional cocktail shaker handy, that is absolutely fine. This is just a 2-piece cocktail shaker. What I'm using as my improvised version is actually another coffee jar. Empty coffee jar, wash this out, take the labels off. This will work absolutely fine. So we're going to bang some ice in there straight away. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I like to use bigger ice than most people. We're going to put a couple of those big cubes of ice in there. Pour in our sweetened coffee, if you want it sweetened. If you're not interested in sweetened, that is absolutely fine as well. And now you just want to make sure that that coffee is chilled down before we start shaking, because we don't want to stress the glass in here at all. We're going to also add 40 ml of Old J Spiced. This is our silver spiced, the only one as far as we know on the market. 20 ml per lid, so that's 40. Now remember, a double in the UK is 50. You can put as much or as little as you want, but I find 40 ml works really nicely. Then we literally just put the cap onto the coffee jar, which is our shaker, or close your normal shaker, give it a good shake. Beautiful, so as you can see, coffee really foams up nicely. If you've ever had an espresso martini in a bar before, you'll have seen this, it works every time. Now, you've got a couple of options. If you want to serve it as a martini, go for your martini or coupe glass. And all we need to do is basically pour this without letting the ice through. If you've got a tea strainer, you can use that to take out any small fragments, but otherwise, you can just use the lid. You get your nice foamy head. Now, of course, because Old J Spiced has a massive amount of vanilla in there, it's a really vanilla forward drink. You don't need to add a vanilla syrup to this. It makes it so easy. You can literally buy a bottle of this from us and just add what you've already got in your house. If you make coffee at home, if you've got sugar at home, you are ready to go with this. There we go. That is your espresso martini, spiced with plenty of vanilla. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoy this drink, and hit me up in the comments with your versions, whatever you've done with it. You can always add a bit of milk in there, you can add whatever other spirits you feel like. A little bit of Bailey's isn't going to hurt it at all. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. If you want to grab any of the products mentioned in this video, head down to clickanddrink.co.uk and we can deliver direct to your door. So that should give you a quick idea of what you can do. Now, I've also broken it down into more of like an Instagram friendly thing, so I'm going to throw that in as well. Obviously, if you guys are listening to this on the podcast, you're not going to see the video. Head over to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, and you can watch the whole thing, and you can see exactly what's going on. But you'll actually get an idea of how you can kind of break down a longer video, a long form video, into something that's a lot shorter to be used on Instagram. So obviously you also need to make sure that it's square, so if you're doing any overlays with text and stuff like that, you need to make sure that they're going to be within the bounds, or you redo those for your Instagram version. But here comes the Instagram version now. In this video, a super easy Rum Espresso Martini. Welcome to the lock-in with me, David Eden-Sangwell from LWC Drinks. I'm going to use instant coffee for this. If you have an espresso maker at home, feel free to use that. So you're going to use 1 spoon of instant coffee, 30 ml, about an ounce of water. Now for sweetness, if you have your coffee sweeter, you can add the sugar that you would normally have in a coffee at this point. Obviously we need to shake this. What I'm using as my improvised version is actually another coffee jar. So we're going to bang some ice in there straight away, pour in our sweetened coffee, and now you just want to make sure that that coffee is chilled down. 40 ml of Old J Spiced. This is our silver spiced. Then we literally just put the cap, give it a shake. You can just use the lid. You can literally buy a bottle of this from us, just add what you've already got in your house. You are ready to go with this. So hopefully that gives you a kind of an idea. It's a little bit different kind of way of approaching it. As you will well know, I have spent some time working with some of the guys from Team Gary V. I help out on their First in Line group, so if anyone's interested in little side business stuff, if you live in the UK at the moment and you're on 80% wage potentially, this is a perfect time to start a little side hustle.
I lost border.
Oh no, do you want this one?
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you are currently sat at home and you're kind of furloughed and you've got some money coming in, you're not like panicking about money. I know that this is not the situation for everyone. If you've got money coming in, this is a great time to work on your personal brand and be able to connect better with just people around the world, whether it's within the bar industry in your own city, whether it's across the country, whether it's across the world. It doesn't really matter. This is just a great time that you can actually put some content out there. You can start to connect with people. If you've ever thought about starting a YouTube channel, great time to do it. If you're worried about equipment and stuff, as long as you've got one of these, as long as you've got a mobile phone, you have everything you need to start a podcast or a YouTube channel or start producing on Instagram or anything else. This is all you need. You can prop this up against stuff. The camera on it is epic. The sound on it is pretty decent. If you want to do a podcast, you can just hold it right next to you. I'm actually, although I've got this microphone here, this is kind of my backup. This is not actually what I'm using to record the sound. The sound is coming from the camera that's over there. But on quite a few of these podcasts, I just use the iPhone audio because it is plenty good enough. The most important thing to remember with all of this is it's not about production, it's not about fancy graphics. I like to put a little thing at the beginning, but I've done it once and it sits across everything. And it's really, really a simple thing. It's just using one of the default things and changing some colours. If you've got a phone in your pocket, the story is the most important thing. It's not about fancy production, it's not about lighting, it's not about colour grading, it's not about any of that. It's all about just telling your story. Talk to people. You don't need to be niched down. This is one of the myths that's been going around forever, is you need to be really like on your niche. You need to be really talking specifically about one very narrow thing. And yeah, you could become the expert in that very narrow thing, but there's still only going to be 6 people in the world that give a crap about it. So be you. You are the unique part about what you do. The fact that you're a bartender but you also love comic books, or you also love space, or this is just me, you happen to sing in a barbershop quartet, or you, whatever it might be that is unique about you as a human being. You know, Gary V is an entrepreneur who wants to buy the New York Jets because he loves sport. He's also a massive fan of wrestling. That informs the way that he talks when he's advertising stuff. All of these different little elements of who you are is actually what's going to make a massive, massive difference to building your fan base. If you can connect on a personal level with people, they're going to be far more interested in listening to what you have to talk about than if you are some robot that talks about a very, very narrow niche, which, I'll be honest, I have been in the past. I'm trying to break out of that now. That's kind of what I'm trying to force myself to do with these videos, with the breakfast show, and connecting with you guys on a more personal level, because if I'm doing one video a week, I can be very specific to a subject and I can just kind of follow that. If I'm not being specific to a topic, if I'm not being, I must talk about this part of bartending for 30 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it is, I get a lot more freedom to actually show who I am. So I'm wearing my NASA pyjamas. We are locked down. This is what I wear. This is what I'm doing. I don't need to dress up nice. I haven't done my hair. I haven't had a shave for a few days, although this is probably about the right length for where I like my beard to be anyway. But I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight into what I've been doing. All the video editing stuff is stuff that I've taught myself. I've never been to a class for it. I've never learned anything formally. All the information that you need is out there. It's on YouTube. There's free video editing software. If you've got a computer, you can use DaVinci Resolve. That is completely free. You can install it on pretty much anything, and it's a professional grade color grading video editing thing if you want to play around with that. If you don't, if you've got an iPhone, you've got iMovie. It's free. If you literally don't even care about editing and you just want to crop out the beginning bit where you're pressing the button on your phone and the end bit where you're pressing the button on your phone, you can do that in the Photos app. I'll be honest, I don't know how Android works. I'm sure there's stuff. but it scares me. I'm not an Android person. I'm sorry. I did try when I had an Android phone for work, but it's not for me. I'm an Apple guy through and through, because it just makes life easier for me. But that's it. I just wanted to rant at you a little bit. I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I've been doing. I wanted to show you how you can take one piece of content and you can turn it into content for another platform. The fact that we're recording this now, it's going to go onto YouTube, it's going to go onto Facebook, it's going to go onto the podcast as an audio stripped out version. That's 3 pieces of content. I'll also tweet about it. I'll try and grab some little clips out of this that we can make into other bits of content. And if this interests you, let me know below. If it doesn't, also let me know below. But I'm still going to do it because this is what I enjoy doing. And I'm not doing it here to grab likes. I'm not doing it here to get subscribers and stuff like that. Subscribers and likes are all a lovely little bit of icing on top of the cake. They are not why I do this. I do this because I know that it helps some people, because I've had messages from those people. And I want to help people. I want to help you guys get through this time. If you've ever wanted to learn a new skill in bartending, check out, I believe Bar Smarts might be doing a lot of their stuff for free right now. So you can get on their course. Head over to A Bar Above as well, the guys that do the Mixology Talk podcast. Check out more podcasts. Start listening to different stuff. It doesn't all have to be bar related. But the guys at Mixology Talk at A Bar Above, they're also offering like 100 scholarships, and they've reduced massively the cost of their course. And their course is insanely good. It's insanely good. So go and check that out as well. One other thing that I am looking at is Masterclass. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but it's where you get Gordon Ramsay teaches cooking, you get Steven Soderbergh teaches how to write movies, it teaches a whole bunch of stuff, and it's all like people at the very top of the profession. Ryan Chetawangana has produced a course on bartending and mixology, which I believe I have an affiliate thing for, so don't go and look for it straight away. I'm going to try and find a link. If I can find it, I will chuck it in the links down below, and you can give me a little kickback on it. It won't cost you any different, but it helps me keep the lights on here while things are a little bit trickier. Cool. That's going to be it for this morning's show. We are going to hopefully have some guests on. If you want to come on and talk on this show, if you want to put something into it, if you want to learn to flare, if you want to learn anything else, just drop a note in the comments. I do want to talk to more people on this show. It is coming, but everyone is mega busy at the moment trying to work out what's going on in the world. I know a lot of bartenders are free, so if you're a bartender and you are bored and you want to do something with me, hit me up. I'm open. See you tomorrow. Is when